Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the perfect one, AJ, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Noah. Noah, how the hell are you doing today?
Cannot complain. The Packers got another W, so
Dude,
life is good.
Great W, Noah. Listen.
Shut out.
Dude, seriously, shut them out. They made the Seahawks look dumb. Once Rodgers got a chance to figure everything. Well, all right, we'll get into that in a second because there's a lot.
Well, why don't we just
jump in?
That?
You just want to go into it, dude? Fine, let's go into it. Packers.
Russell Wilson never been shut out in his career. This was his 150th start, first time getting shut out.
Oh shit!
Although they tried as hard as they could not to get shut out. Pete Carroll calling a fucking timeout with 12 seconds left.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Down. Oh, they were just trying to fucking score points. I don't know, but I'm like, come on, you're down fucking 17 with 12 seconds left. You're calling a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, you're just desperate at that point. I think he was just going into what was natural. Pete Carroll, I think the first snow game at Lambeau Field of the season. It was poetic, Noah. You knew the Packers from the start were going to win. I thought it was you and I both saw it was disrespectful that this line was at 3 points. It opened at 3.5, closed at 3 points.
Was it like 4.5 at one point? But
yeah, fair enough. It was at 4.5 at one point. I took a chance on it because I knew this line was so wrong. I took the Packers at 6.5, and it was just too easy, dude. The Packers are such a good team. And Noah, I want to talk about one thing that you texted me about earlier.
Their defense,
dude. I want to take back the number. Saying. I want to admit I was wrong. I'm wrong.
The number 2 ranked defense in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers.
Bro. They are insane, honest to God. And I love how they play. They are just killing it right now, dude. They really, and they shut down what's supposed to be, what is supposed to be a good Seahawks team. The Seahawks really proving that they are the second worst team in the NFC West, right in front of the 49ers. They're going to get the shit kicked out of them on Monday Night Football against the Rams, even though Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be starting. Because Robert Woods curse, out though. Yeah, his camp
for this season.
That is rough, dude. That is a rough.
That was the start of the Odell. I mean, they signed Odell, and then Woods is out for the season.
Terrible. So I'm interested to see how the Rams play, though. I still think, even though they have Odell, they still have playoff aspirations. Doubtful for the Super Bowl now because of Odell being there. So you can just kind of throw those tickets away if you have them to win the Super Bowl. Rams are dead. Simple as that. However, the Packers very much alive and well, really showing that they are not only playoff contenders, but truly Super Bowl contenders. And I think you can really put a lot of your worries about the Packers defense to rest. Yeah, they still have some issues when it comes to some holes in the zone, but who doesn't have issues when it comes to holes in the zone? So Noah, honest to God, cheers to the Packers for probably winning the Super Bowl this year. I will fucking drink to that all day. Good on Aaron Rodgers.
And I was telling you, AJ, I mean, and if you've been following the podcast, I've been on the Rams since before the season even started as my Super Bowl favorite.
I believe the first episode you came out, even though we were talking about the NHL draft on our first episode, I believe you were still saying the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
If I'm going to waver from the Rams at this point, it's for the Packers, and I don't want to be too much of a homer, but
I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you.
Man, once this offense starts clicking, which they've looked a little flat, the offense has.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we have the number 2 defense in the NFL. I got a couple stats for you here. Packers have not allowed a touchdown in 20 drives now. They have the number 2 defense in points allowed, number 3 in yards allowed in the NFL, and they're number 4 in turnover differential. So this is new to me as a Packers fan. Over the past 2 decades, having a good defense is not something that has been a thing ever.
Yeah, you
guys for the Packers
never really had a defense.
And holy shit, we are winning games with defense now. And I'm still sour about last week against the Chiefs. That should have been a win, if not for special teams blowing the game. But Packers defense is still missing Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander, who are both on track to return at some point this season. Hopefully getting number 69, David Bakhtiari, back next week.
Hell yeah, brother.
Will help the offense. Obviously, Aaron Jones having an injury today, not great, but hopefully it's not a season ender. Prayers out to Aaron Jones. But the Packers are a legitimately good team.
Absolutely.
With the Cardinals getting blown out by Carolina,
All
Packers jump back into that number.
Really, you're just going to jump into that, really?
Well, I'm just saying because of that, the Packers jump back into the number one spot. And the number one seed is the Packers to lose at this point.
All right. Before we get into some depressing stuff, we are contractually obligated to bring up David Bakhtiari as the best beer chugger in the NFL.
And the best offensive lineman.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's just a given at this point. I think his beer chugging is still underrated. And so we need to bring it up and bring awareness to the fact.
Should go hand in hand.
Yes, they obviously go hand in hand.
Doesn't necessarily always, but it should. Your talent as an offensive lineman should be determined on, or should be like,
ability.
Yeah.
What's your shotgun time, bro? What is it? I need to know.
Or maybe not a direct correlation between the two of those, but it's like similar skill sets, that should contribute to both of those. Like being large and athletic at the same time, and whatever, Bakhtiari, he inhales beers. We love him.
Inhales them, dude. It's, oh my God.
Months ago, we did our top 5.
I need to find that.
NFL players that we'd want to pound some, that we'd want to kill a 30 rack with.
Yeah.
Both of us had David Bakhtiari. I think I had him. I had him number 1. I think you had him top 3.
Top 3, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just a dude's dude.
Dude, he's a bro. He's a bro.
How can you not love David Bakhtiari?
Honestly, dude, seriously, he's the best. He's the best.
I was hoping he'd be back today, but hopefully next week. Bakhtiari's back.
Next week, Bakhtiari back. You got to watch out for that. He's just such a weapon. He's insane.
Oh, Packers offensive line gets a huge boost if Bakhtiari's back healthy, and
huge boost. Now, yeah, all right. Let's get into it, Noah, because somehow, some way, I had my heart broken this week, and the Bears were on a bye, and they haven't lost to bye week yet. So good on the Bears for not losing to bye week yet. Bye week has got the Lions last week. They've gotten the Raiders.
Speaking of,
dude,
they didn't lose this week. They didn't lose. They didn't win.
You know what?
They didn't win, but they didn't lose.
No, you know what? No. You see, the Bears did lose bye week. Okay, they did. That's another loss in their column. They did lose bye week because they didn't. The Bears lost.
The Bears lost because the Lions didn't lose. And we know. I've been talking this into existence for multiple weeks now. The inevitable is coming. The Lions will get their one win of the season against the Bears on Thanksgiving.
Dude, I can't.
And it's true. It's true. It's true. The Lions are going to get their one win of the season.
You've been
against
talking
the Bears.
into existence. I've been, and you know what, Noah? Thanksgiving is such a special holiday and everything. I've been working on the shirt for Thanksgiving, and I've been looking at matchups and everything, and it'll come out eventually. But I'm just saying it may shock the world, and I don't know if you're ready for it. I don't know if the degenerates are ready for it, because it may be, honest to God, Noah, this shirt might be a little too degenerate for degenerates. I'm just going to throw that out there. So degenerates, be warned. Thanksgiving, huge shirt coming out. Anyway, do you want to go? Where do you want to go now? Because I kind of want to stay happy for a bit. If we can stay happy for a bit before we get depressing.
Yeah, well, let's start with the early slate.
All right, early slate. Let's start from the top.
Obviously, well, okay, so we had the Pittsburgh and Lions game.
Such a shit show.
Going to overtime. The Lions had like 3 different opportunities to win this game, 3 different opportunities to lose this game in classic Lions fashion. It's going back and forth. Neither team seemed like they wanted to score points.
No.
Ultimately, Pittsburgh fumbling the ball with 8 seconds left when they were borderline field goal range. Would have been a long field goal in the rain in Pittsburgh. That was the only good game of the morning slate today. Everything else was a fucking blowout.
Well,
so
Titans Saints wasn't a complete
blowout. True.
It was just a shit show.
True. So let's talk about that, and then we can rip through all of these blowout games that don't even matter.
Sounds good. Titans Saints.
Titans were in command for most of the game. Yeah. Saints coming back late to almost tie it. Not quite. Couldn't quite get the job done. Titans at home escape with a 2-point victory against the Saints. I think the Saints are a very good team. And despite injuries, despite very, very key injuries, major injuries, AJ, I think the Titans are the team to beat in the AFC.
No, I would. Okay, so we can't. Okay, so
even without Derrick Henry, I mean,
listen.
And if they had Derrick Henry healthy, I would be 100% certain that the Titans are the best team in the AFC.
I think if I'm a Titans fan, I am stoked of what's going on right now. These Titans are cooking even without your best player on the team. This Titans
defense is playing well. Tannehill's playing well.
This defense holding the Saints, who's been not a terrible offense. Who started? Was it Stredham today? I really didn't pay much attention. Like, it was on, but like it was like I didn't give a fuck about this game.
Stredham.
Or no, that was.
You mean Simeon? Trevor Simeon?
Simeon, yeah. Simeon played today. What were his stats? Let me pull those up real quick. Taysom Hill got some snaps.
Taysom Hill, he was back off the IR. He got some snaps, but okay. Simeon clearly the starter in New Orleans still.
All right, so I just want to put a PSA out there right now. If Taysom Hill gets a start, okay, and you are seeing him on the books over under on passing yards, I don't give a shit what that number is unless he gets into double digits. You take the under. Okay, this guy cannot play quarterback. I tried being on the Taysom Hill train. I've made that mistake.
You did last season. You were trying to,
and I went through it. And I'm a man. I admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong about the Taysom Hill train.
And what was I screaming? What was I screaming all like that stretch that Drew Brees was out last season? What was I screaming the entire time? I was like, why is Jameis
for Winston? You were screaming.
I was like, why is Jameis not playing? Why is Jameis not playing? Why is Jameis not playing? I'm like, Taysom sucks. Why is Jameis not playing?
Bro, he's so bad.
Obviously Jameis injured now, so he can't be playing. But valiant effort by New Orleans.
Hey, honestly, looking at these stats, I go with Simeon over Hill just because don't get me wrong. I know Hill only got 2 snaps, but knowing Hill's past, I'm fine with Simeon starting and Taysom Hill continuing his gadget bullshit. God, I'm so over him.
The gadget bullshit works, but
anyway, back to the big point.
Titans are damn good.
Damn good. And if I'm a Titans fan, I'm very excited because I think they're going to cakewalk into the playoffs because the AFC is so questionable and they seem to be the only stable force in the AFC. And they're going to get Derrick Henry back for the playoffs at least. Like, he'll probably be ready before the end of the season, but they'll just hold off till playoffs.
Yeah. Titans had a very front heavy schedule too, and they're 8-2.
Very front heavy, and they're 8.
They've played most of their tough games. Most of their tough games are already gone. I forget they have either Jacksonville twice and Houston once, or Houston twice and Jacksonville once left on the rest of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a weak second half schedule. Titans are going to cruise in there. They're going to be in contention for that number 1 seed.
Dude,
it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
And with the Chiefs being as weak as they are, don't get me wrong, and we'll get to the Chiefs in a little bit, but I ain't concerned. I'm not concerned if I'm the Titans, dude, because the Titans have just been rocking and rolling. I'm about it. Let's keep it moving, Titans. Keep it going. Wait until you get Hill back, and then you can just dominate the AFC in the playoffs, and then you'll run into the Cowboys or the Cardinals or the Rams or any of these NFC teams at this point, because it's a big question mark, because Cardinals. We'll get to the Cardinals anyway. Let's go to the next game on the early slate. The biggest blowout of the day, the easiest bet.
Well, I was going to say let's just rip through these blowouts. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot.
There's not a lot to say about these games. How about that? There's just not a lot to say about these games because the only real blowout was Bills Jets. Bills blowing.
What do you mean the Cowboys wasn't a blowout?
I'm sorry. I forgot the Cowboys was on the early slate. My bad. It's halfway down the sheet. All right, calm down.
The Patriots wasn't a blowout over Cleveland.
Okay, no, they were okay. Listen, the thing I'm looking at, it was cut off. All right, let's calm down. I didn't scroll. All right, I thought it was on the sheet. I'm sorry, I didn't see those blows. Let's blow through them. Bills did what they had to do against the Jets, coming off of a terrible loss.
Yeah,
dominated.
Diggs and Allen looked tremendous.
Disgusting.
Bills defense had like 8,000 turnovers, forced takeaways, I guess rather.
Absolutely. Next game, Mac Jones. He is, like we said earlier, he was the most NFL ready quarterback to come out of the draft, proving it right now, especially in the Belichick system. He is a system quarterback, but he is a damn good system quarterback and gets what he needs to do done. And this defense is back, bro. Belichick. I mean, this Patriots team is scary again, and I hate to say that.
Yep. And literally their entire offense was running the ball and screen passes the entire game today. And they dropped what 44 or 45 points on Cleveland. Yeah. All through Mac Jones hardly ever threw the ball deep. It was all screen passes and runs. Yeah. And Cleveland couldn't stop shit.
But it worked, and it worked.
Dallas against Atlanta. Atlanta's defense looked like fucking Swiss cheese. Their offense couldn't get anything going.
Dem Boys are Dem Boys. Simple as that.
Anything more to say about that? Cowboys bouncing back huge from a disappointing loss against Denver. Falcons are, to me, just they're still what they are. They're a week to week team. You never know which Falcons team you're going to get.
Depends on the matchup. Depends on who's showing up. A lot of variables there.
They are still sitting in that 7 spot in the NFC somehow.
Because there is such a difference between the best of the NFC and then everyone else. You know what I mean?
No, there's the top 6, and then whoever gets that 7 spot is going to be like terrible.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the 2 seed is going to be just fine. Whoever gets the 1 seed, they're going to get the bye. It's whoever gets that 3 seed is going to be the worry party, because then you're likely playing New Orleans or Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs if you get that 3 seed. So it could very well be New Orleans against Tampa Bay in that first round playoff matchup, which wouldn't surprise me. That would be great to watch, a little division matchup, especially because the Saints are probably going to just go 2-0 against them in the regular season. We'll see what happens. But
dude, hell yeah. Speak of the devil, let's go to the Buccaneers against Washington. Washington, the football team, bruh. They coming out there. They seem to be like, I can't explain what happened. The Buccaneers, a lot of injuries coming around there, but they just didn't look good. Brady didn't look good. Washington somehow just figured out how to do what they need to do and put more points on the board. I really don't know what to make of this Washington team. Noah, what are your thoughts?
This is the first week that they actually looked like decent, kind of like we expected them to look.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Their defense finally showed up.
Yeah.
Heineke seems to be one of Brady's weaknesses.
Seems to be. He seems to
Taylor,
know him, dude.
Taylor fucking Heineke
fucking
is.
Heineke, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Until Washington can string a couple games together looking good, I don't trust them. But they look great today, and what I've been preaching all season is Tampa Bay is not the juggernaut everybody thinks they are.
True. You have been saying. You have been saying that. I've been proven wrong about them.
They're a good team, but they're probably only 4th or 5th best in the NFC.
That's
you got
very true.
You got the Cardinals at full health, which I will say, Cardinals at full health, I will reluctantly admit might be the best team in the NFL. I'm not going to definitively say they are,
but they are.
But
it's fine.
Fully healthy, the Cardinals are very, very good. The Rams, very good team. Packers, very good. The Cowboys, very good, despite a little 2-week hiatus from, deciding to show up. And, they just decided they weren't going to show up and play for 2 weeks. But the Cowboys are still very good. And then, and then you got the Bucs. So the Bucs are, fourth or fifth. I put them and the Cowboys interchangeable. But then you got the Saints right behind the Bucs, and I don't think the Saints are a team to sleep on either. They have a very good defense, very good offensive line. If they had a healthy Jameis, the Saints, I would say, are maybe the fourth best team in the NFC.
Definitely, yeah.
And you look at the AFC, and other than the Titans and the Bills, I mean, like the Titans and the Bills are the only two teams that I think can compete with the top 6 in the NFC.
So here's my thing. I truly think that this year's Super Bowl is going to be the NFC Championship. Yeah. Dude. Like I've said multiple times. And because this AFC is just I don't disagree. Weak. It's terrible, dude. It's terrible. Speaking of the AFC, let's go to I believe AFC. Let's go Jaguars, Colts. What? I mean, this game was way too close for comfort. I don't understand how the Colts didn't cover this game. Colts barely squeaking by 23-17 at home. I mean,
well, they were up. Colts didn't score a single point in the second half.
Yeah. Well, they scored 1. They scored 3.
Did they?
Yeah, in the fourth.
Oh, so was it 17-6 at halftime, and then
it was
17-3 at halftime, something like that. I don't know.
It was 20-9 at halftime.
Yeah, so they didn't score a single point, did they?
I mean, they scored 3 in the second half.
Oh, was it 23-17 final?
Yeah, it was 23-17. That's what I said.
Carson Wentz sucks.
Dude, no, he doesn't suck. He just
I don't even need to say anything else. He almost threw 2 picks on very similar bullshit shovel pass type of things that he threw against, that he's thrown the last couple weeks. Wentz is garbage. I mean, like I've said before, he promotes losing culture is what he does. And I just don't trust Wentz to go out and win a game. The Colts aren't going anywhere. They might squeak into the playoffs, but they're not doing anything if they do.
Hey, fair enough.
The only bright spot on their team, other than a couple of the really good defensive studs they have, is Michael Pittman Jr. is really, really coming out and playing really well this season. But Wentz sucks. Their offensive line, which was supposed to be really great, is mediocre. Jonathan Taylor is really good, though. I won't discount Jonathan Taylor. He's good. But this Colts team is not ready for a playoff run or a Super Bowl run. They're not ready.
Not even close.
And they thought Wentz was going to be the answer to their problems, and he's not. He's not.
Fair enough.
They'd be better off dusting off the cobwebs on Phillip Rivers and bringing him back at this point.
Honestly, and we'll see what happens with Phillip Rivers. He's still available out there. Speaking of another team that really has no playoff aspirations, just seem to have a team's number because this other team has not been able to beat them for the last fucking 10 years. It's unbelievable. Cardinals losing at home to the Panthers 34-10. Kyler Murray out. McCoy out. About halfway through the game, fucking Strevler comes in. He just
I didn't even realize that because I wasn't watching. So we had the Strev show.
Oh, the Strev show was in town, bro. It was not.
What was his stat line?
I don't even. Let me look it up really quick.
I mean, I'm sure he had rushing yards, but
he was 6 for 9 with 36 yards,
which for passing stats is. That's way more than you could expect from Strevler. So
yeah, but rushing he was 2 for
2
4.
for 4.
Fucking kidding me, bro.
Well, I mean, anyway, return of Cam Newton to Carolina.
Yeah, he's back, motherfucker. Yeah, we see that. Cool.
I'm back.
Whatever. I will say I enjoyed it, but
I see
Kyler Murray. I don't blame the Cardinals for resting Kyler Murray and D-Hop. This was a game we could afford to lose. If we're going to lose a game, this is one that I'm fine with. We have a bye week coming up. Let's just rest these guys, make sure they're 100%. I'm okay with this move. Not completely upset with the win, upset with the loss because of the money, but that's just because I'm a degenerate and that's what we do here.
Well, we were talking about it on Degenerate Bets. This line should have never been 10.5 where it opened at. I mean, closed at like 7.5.
Closed at 7,
which was still way too high with the amount of injuries on the Cardinals.
They were discounting PJ Washington, not really thinking Cam was going to come in, I think, because I think PJ would have ended up choking at the goal line.
I don't know. Either way, the Cardinals very, very banged up. I respect the decision not to rush guys back in because you don't want to re-aggravate injuries.
Especially because our second half of the schedule is not like it's not a cakewalk.
Now this is very different if you're a 5-3 team instead of a 7-1 team.
Very different.
Because then those wins matter a lot more. The Cardinals.
They don't. I mean, obviously,
tight race with the Rams, but the Rams losing to Tennessee last week, and the Cardinals having the head-to-head tiebreaker over them. They could afford to sit Kyler Murray and D-Hop and some of those other guys another week. I like the decision. It resulted in a loss, which you have to be wary of the fact that that's a possibility when you're resting, a very good quarterback with a top 2 or 3 receiver in the NFL.
Number one.
Yeah, it's one game. It's one game. Cardinals, bunch of backups. Obviously, Colt McCoy going down too. That doesn't help.
Oh yeah, no.
Because Trevor can't throw the ball for shit. Carolina picks up a lucky W. It's not gonna. It doesn't change.
Baby.
Doesn't change my view on them. They're still gonna miss the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
What was I going to say? Yeah, just totally felt like a trap game, which is why I took Carolina, especially at the 10.5. I'm like, it feels like a trap game. I mean, I think the Cardinals will be fine. I don't think this is a game to read too much into.
Not worried. Not worried.
Other than the only thing that matters right now is seeding, which, like I said, I'm happy to be in the seat of a Packers fan, where because of the Cardinals dropping this one, then we're up. But the Cardinals have the bye week. They should be at full health coming back after that bye week.
Will be at full health.
Full health Kyler, full health D-Hop. AJ Green's been out. I don't know what his injury is. I don't know if he's coming back.
COVID this week.
Okay, so AJ Green should be back because they have a bye week. Cardinals should be at pretty much same, or not same, but full strength.
Yeah.
Coming back. One thing for the Cardinals, James Conner keeps his touchdown streak alive. Stays number one in the NFL. Number one in the NFL. He now has, if you're better, James Conner anytime touchdown has hit 7 out of the last 8 weeks, 8 out of the last 9, something like that. James Conner up to 12, 13 touchdowns this year now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Leading the NFL.
Dude, he's a stud, bro. He's just a stud. One of my favorites on the Cardinals right now.
Anyways, we got 2 more afternoon games.
Noah, this game I want to talk about because I think it really impacts the NFC North and kind of concerns me because I think that they might be not the worst team anymore because I love this Chargers team. The Vikings beating the Chargers 27-20. Close game. Herbert did what he had to do, but Vikings were a little bit better this week. I still don't. I feel like they're still the same teams, and this should have been a pickup, or you know what I mean.
I mean, it was a 2.5 point spread, so it's pretty close to
enough to pick them. Yeah, fair enough. I guess I did get them at 2.5.
And we've covered this before, AJ. I've told you this. It's the Vikings. You don't even need to tune into their game until halfway through the fourth quarter because they continue the trend that they have had all season through 8 or through 9 or 10 games now. Every single one of their games has been a one possession game, and they're 4-5 now. So through 9 games, it has all been every single one of them have been one possession games, and they've played good teams and they've played bad teams, and they still manage to make every single game a one possession game. Every game comes down to the wire. Vikings were, they're up 7, right, with 2 minutes left. They went for it on 4th and 2 and got it. If they don't get that, Chargers take over with 2 minutes on the clock, down 7, and this game could very well have gone to overtime. It had been the Vikings' fourth overtime game of the season.
That would have to have been a record.
Ballsy move by Mike Zimmer, but I'm telling you, it's just the Vikings. Every single game is just a one possession game. Hopefully not next week.
Yeah.
Playing the Packers. I may or may not be at that game. We'll see.
Ooh.
I can get tickets. I hate Vikings fans. They are ruthless and
wait. Time out.
Terrible.
Can you get tickets because of the reason I think you can get tickets?
Oh, I got multiple. I got my hookups. I can get
is it the reason I think?
Maybe. Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Oh, way to be, guy. Way to be. Anyway.
But we can figure it out.
Next game
anyways.
I want to talk about, because good week for Alabama quarterbacks. If you're a graduate, you got Eagles going over the Broncos at Mile High. What was that score? 30-13. Jesus effing Christ, bro. I mean, I didn't watch this game because who gives a shit about either of these teams, because they're absolutely wrecks.
AJ, this game was very close for 3.5 quarters.
Was it really?
Yeah. Eagles go up 7. Denver's driving. There's some weird fumble play, like 80-yard fumble return for a touchdown by Darius Slay. Which it was a weird one. You'll have to look up the replay because it was like running around, scrambling like shit. Because the ball kind of squirted loose and it looked like he was going to go down. And then he's like, oh, wait, shit. It's like half the people on the field are like offensive linemen. I can run around him. Returns it for a touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater could have tackled him.
Oh, I saw that. No. I saw that.
Teddy Bridgewater decides not to touch him. That makes it like a 14-point game. And, then the Eagles tacked on an extra like field goal or 2 or something after that.
So wait, really quick. Speaking
this
fumble,
this was one of my bets of the week, though, AJ.
It was one of your bets of the week. That's true.
And the Eagles were a 2.5-point dog when we recorded our Degenerate Bets episode. This game was a pick'em at kickoff. But yeah, I was big on the Eagles this week. Even though I don't think they're a good football team, I think Denver is faker and worse. Denver's fake. They're frauds. Denver is frauds. And this game should prove it. They lost, 30-13 to the Eagles. Yeah,
it was bad.
And I did say last week, I said the Eagles are not as bad as I thought. I never said they were good, but I admitted the Eagles are not as bad of a team as I thought they would be at the beginning of the season.
It's very true. Very true. Noah, just one really quick thing on the fumbles. I'm disappointed that it's been about 20, 25 years we had a butt fumble. We haven't had anything that bad since.
Oh, no. Butt fumble was a little over 10 years ago.
Still a long time without something worse than the butt fumble. I believe that the butt fumble is the reason why they stopped the not top 10.
We need the nut fumble.
We do need a nut fumble.
Either way.
Awesome. Anyway, Noah, can we talk about the last game of the day?
Yes, Sunday night.
What the fuck, dude? All of a sudden, the Chiefs are like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna just cover this game. Not only cover this game, I'm gonna just fucking blow out this other team at home and not even give them a fucking chance." Like, I'm so sorry. So all of us, you are telling me all of a sudden Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes figured out how to read 2 safeties up top? Or are you telling me that this Raiders defense is just absolute dog shit and couldn't cover a fucking barn, bro?
Well, AJ, the Raiders do not usually run cover 2. And that's what everybody's been doing to mess up the Chiefs this year. And the Raiders tried to run cover 2. And I think the problem is they're not used to cover 2 because they don't run cover 2.
Fair.
And they tried to force themselves into cover 2. And on a week's notice, they weren't able to learn that cover 2 well enough. and it got beat. And it seemed like at times they wavered away from that cover 2. And yeah, so I mean, it was just, I think the Chiefs match up better against the Raiders than just about every team in the league. But it doesn't change anything. It's not like the Chiefs figured out a cover 2, because it's still like most of the teams they played this year are still going to run that cover 2 shell against them, and it's going to work spectacular because Mahomes doesn't understand fucking coverage. All he knows is throw the ball to open receivers.
Yeah, really.
Which
he's admitted that before.
I am not saying like, a year, 2, 3 years from now, Mahomes won't be back to his greatness. But right now he's not great because he doesn't know how to fucking read a cover 2.
No, and that's his issue. But he'll figure it out.
Which is terrible. I mean, he's a very young quarterback who's had a lot of success and has shown a ton of skill. He's probably maybe, one of the top 2. Him and Rodgers are the 2 most skilled receivers in the league. But Mahomes doesn't know how to fucking read coverage.
No,
and until he
really
figures that out, which I'm sure he will, because the Chiefs are paying him so much money that they will make sure he figures that out.
He has to. He will. He definitely will.
But for the time being, he can't fucking read coverage, and his Superman antics aren't going to go that far if he can't read fucking coverage.
No. So, they are not going to go good. No. It'll
be bad. But like I said, the Raiders do not run cover 2 hardly at all.
Fair.
They tried to today. It didn't work well.
Fair enough. And no, I think it's just something that we're going to have to look out for the rest of this year, is just see how Patrick Mahomes develops against that cover 2, especially with teams that run cover 2 a lot. I'm not disappointed in this Raiders loss. I was expecting a win from them. That's why I took them on the money line. But shit happens, because that's just how sports go. We will bounce back tomorrow, though. And if you are listening to us before Monday Night Football and listening to that Peyton and Eli cast, because that's the way to watch Monday Night Football, follow us.
Do we know who the guests are yet, or
let me see if we have that out real quick.
Doesn't matter. We'll figure that out. But
I guess we will figure it out. But follow us on TikTok at Degenerate Takes 69, because I will be releasing a shirt for the Monday Night Football game.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, it's not surprising, but I think it's, I like it. I like it so much, I put it on a fucking shirt. Like, what do you want me to do? It's my gimmick. Like, it's what I do. I like a line, I put it on a shirt. It's all I do. It's what I do. But I'm excited for this next upcoming week. We got a big slate of not only football, but we got college basketball out the butt, dude. And I cannot wait to dive deep into all of this stuff. And we will do that throughout the week. And that's why you need to be following us, YouTube, Spotify, however you're listening, however you're watching. We do appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe. And we will see you next time on Degenerate Takes.